Imagine waking up tomorrow and realizing your job, money, and even the concept of Monday are gone.
No alarm clocks, no endless emails, and no soul-crushing meetings to attend. What would you actually do with your time? If your first thought is freedom, you're echoing the experience of every human for the last 300,000 years. For most of human history, life wasn't a grind. There were no weeks, no weekends, and definitely no concept of dreading the work week.
We often label these ancestors as primitive, yet they lived in ways that might actually be more balanced than our modern reality.
The biggest lie we've been told is that prehistoric life was just a non-stop survival horror game, constantly fleeing from predators. While danger existed, it wasn't the sum total of their existence. They had time, and they used it for remarkably creative activities. Archaeological evidence reveals cave paintings, musical instruments made from bones, and intricate jewelry that date back tens of thousands of years. They traveled hundreds of miles on foot across diverse landscapes, trading resources and forming complex social connections. We have found evidence of burials where elderly individuals with physical disabilities were cared for with deep respect and ceremony. This is not the behavior of a species in constant panic. It is the behavior of a species that had significant time on their hands.
The survival horror narrative isn't just inaccurate, it's almost the exact opposite of the truth regarding their daily lives. As you can see, we're starting with a completely blank slate for this project.
They spent between 3 to 5 hours a day on necessary tasks, leaving the rest of their time for leisure, social interaction, and rest.
Their day was filled with talking, playing games, making art, and sharing stories, which were essential for their social bonding.
Solons famously called them the original affluent society, not because they had many possessions, but because they had time. They possessed the one thing that modern humans desperately chase but rarely catch: an abundance of truly free, unmonetized time.
Compare this to the average modern adult, whose day is consumed by work, commuting, and administrative tasks, leaving little leisure time.
Much of our remaining time is spent staring at screens, consuming content designed to keep us anxious and engaged. We work more hours with significantly higher stress and less rest than those we once called primitive hunters.
They were relentless, passionate talkers. Social interaction was the core of their existence, and they spent hours communicating.
They didn't just talk about hunting. They gossiped, told jokes, flirted, and speculated about the stars and the world.
Gossip was the original social technology, a fundamental software for human community that helped manage social bonds.
Every time you chat with a coworker or laugh with friends, you are performing the oldest and most essential human activity.
Even our sleep patterns are different. The idea of sleeping for 8 consecutive hours is a modern invention, not a biological necessity. Historically, people slept in 2 distinct phases, with a natural period of wakefulness in the middle of the night. During this waking period, they didn't suffer from insomnia. They prayed, meditated, talked with family, or engaged in creative thought. Today, waking up at 2 a.m. feels wrong because we've been conditioned to believe in a single, consolidated block of sleep. This quiet time was essential for reflection, problem solving, and the deep thinking that modern life often crowds out. The craftsmanship required for their tools, clothing, and art was demanding and took years to master, showing immense dedication. They even created bone needles with eyes, allowing for intricate sewing, which reflects their care for detail and necessity. Their art, found in places like Lascaux, shows a profound understanding of movement, perspective, and light that still amazes us today. They used the natural curves of the cave walls to give their animals 3-dimensional form, creating a cinematic illusion in the dark. This wasn't just survival. It was an expression of their humanity, their stories, and their desire to leave a mark. Art, philosophy, and mathematics all have roots in these moments of stillness and contemplation that our ancestors prioritized.
When not occupied, the mind does extraordinary things. They knew this, not as a science, but as a lived experience. They noticed things, made connections, and asked questions about why the stars moved, or where the dead went. The stories they told were the ancestors of science, philosophy, and religion, born from minds with time to wander.
So, I have one last question for you. If you could go back, would you? Let me know in the comments, and until then, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you soon.